Right, I'm back. Good morning. Another technical bit of a disaster there. Let me just see that I am live in the Facebook group in our private little community. Oh, I think I am. So, welcome to day 2 of the 5-day Simply Social Drinker experience. So I hope you watched day 1. Every day at 12 o'clock over 5 days, I am coming on to tell you exactly what is going on with your problem drinking, exactly what the difference between problem drinking and simply social drinking. And I am giving you all the information that you need to make different choices to change your drinking at any moment. So I'm not going to go back over what we did in day 1. Because I want you to watch the videos. I will give you everything, and I need you to make the commitment to you if you want to change your drinking. Being trapped in your drinking is a choice. Being free to choose how or when you drink, to have peace of mind, freedom and control around alcohol is also a choice. I am giving you everything you need. You have to step up and do it. And I know that sounds a bit tough, but that's the only way. So yesterday we went over the alcohol. Alcohol cannot change. What it is one day, it is every day. And if there is one day you can drink in control or not drink in control, or be out of control around alcohol, the difference is not alcohol, it's you. It's how you are thinking and feeling at that time. Alcohol cannot change. You don't have a relationship with alcohol. You have a relationship with yourself around what you believe alcohol brings to you and how hard change will be. And that relationship with yourself around alcohol has become a belief system within you. At some point, you've learned to believe it brings you comfort. At some point, it must have done, otherwise you wouldn't have that belief within you. And then because you've tried to change it just by avoiding what you have learned to believe brings you comfort, you stay trapped in your struggle, and it gets stronger and stronger and stronger and tighter and tighter and tighter, because ultimately you're trying to deny yourself what you have learned to believe alcohol brings you, which is comfort. So changing your drinking is a holistic whole. None of it comes compartmentalized. In my rapid alcohol recovery method 6-week process, I take clients through every single aspect of their drinking trap to freedom. And actually, there's only 4 aspects of it. There's understanding that alcohol is the belief system and how to let that go. It is letting go, what we're going to do today, of the voices in your head. You might call them your wine witch, you might call them your angel and your devil. The devil's on my shoulder. You might just call it your mind battle, whatever it is. Then there's cravings and willpower, and there's boundaries, but boundaries are not around alcohol. So today we're going to talk about your wine witch. I chose wine witch because that's the one I hear the most. My wine witch has come back, or something like that. And when people talk about their wine witch, they're talking as though it's an external something voice that comes in to their head. It isn't. That's not possible. It's you going into conflict with you about what alcohol brings to you and how you will cope without it, and the fear of change and how hard change will be. And what happens with everybody who struggles with alcohol, everybody, and this is why it's so bloody wonderful, because if it's true of everybody, if the problem is true of everybody, the solution is as well. And as I said yesterday, someone who doesn't struggle with alcohol will recognize 100% my words in the context of their struggle, whether it's around gambling or food or shopping. You make a decision that you're not going to drink or eat or shop or gamble. You make that decision from a place of feeling bad about yourself, about feeling despairing, about feeling hopeless and weak and a failure and ashamed, whatever. And I'm not going to drink tonight. I'm not going to do it. I'm so pissed off with myself. I'm fed up of feeling ill. I'm fed up of the whole thing, and I'm not going to drink. And you make that decision from a low point, and normally you're beating yourself up as well. I'm going to check to see if I've got any messages here. Love to know what you think as we go along. And obviously, thank you everybody for taking the time to watch these videos. So you make that decision from that point, from that lower point, from that unhappier point. And as the day goes on the whole, you can't drink because you've got work or you've got commitments or you've got to drive. So you have something to anchor that commitment on some level. But as the day wears on, you start to, it's that decision, that determination starts to weaken, doesn't it? Maybe it's 12 o'clock, maybe it's 3 o'clock, maybe it's 5 o'clock, maybe it's 6, it doesn't matter. That decision starts to weaken and you start to justify your drinking. It'll be different this time. This time, I'll just have the one. I deserve it. I need it. I've had a rough day. You know, again, I'll do this tomorrow. Everybody does that who struggles. Everybody. And you call that your wine witch or the devil on your shoulder or anything coming in to say, come on, it's okay, it's okay. That voice is actually the voice of your unconscious mind saying, feeling, excuse me, the pain of the beating you gave yourself in the morning about your drinking, which has taken you further from the comfort you need, deserve, and desire, and then starts to justify you having that drink again tonight, and justifying it with kindness of, it'll be different this time, you deserve it, or it'll be more fun, or anything, any of the statements you would make to yourself always comes under the you deserve it, you've had a tough day, you need to relax, it'll be different this time, it's not as bad as you think. Do you recognize that? It's absolutely the truth. And you call that your devil or your wine witch because that voice gets louder but gentler and more persuasive. And you start to have the say, don't do that, for God's sake, don't. You know what happened last time, you know what happened. And you pull yourself apart. Now, it's not alcohol that's doing it. Alcohol cannot do that. It's just a liquid in a glass, which is a powerful drug. And once you've had the first drink, particularly when you've gone through that mind battle, you knock it back quickly, because remember, you're always looking for comfort. You're always looking for comfort. Numbing out is comfort. Blocking out is comfort, as well as peace and relaxation and calm and downtime and time out. It's always, hi Jeanette, lovely to see you. You're always looking for comfort in intention. So that wine witch, that devil, is actually a voice that's offering you comfort. It's a voice that's saying, come on, darling, it's okay. It feels, this voice feels the pain you're in as you struggle and pull yourself apart in your own mind, with your own thinking, with your own voices, because it cannot be anybody else's. Alcohol can't speak to you. Nobody else is coming into your voice and telling you these things. You're telling you, even if your husband or your son or your daughter, who is so wounded by your drinking, says, for Christ's sake, mum, don't do that. For Christ's sake, our marriage is over if you carry on like this. For Christ's sake, you're going to lose your job. All of those things are the externals that you take in, and then you try to back up. Come on, you know what's going to happen. You are wrecking I'm wrecking my marriage. I'm hurting myself. I'm going to lose my job. I'm not going to have more money. I'm not going to have the money, whatever. I'm so worried about my health. Those thoughts, with the negative feelings they create, kickstart your wine witch, which is actually your angel, or your devil, which is actually your angel, because the intention behind your wine witch and your devil is to bring you comfort. It's not to hurt you. It doesn't know the result. It only knows that in this moment you are in pain. And in the absence of you having any other method of comforting yourself, creating the consistent balance and peace within you that is not overly disturbed by life circumstances, you'll return to drink. And I want you to think about this. That mind battle is, when is that mind battle over? Really think about this. I want you to get the profound change you deserve. When is that mind battle over? When you think about yesterday, or the last time you went into conflict with yourself around your drinking, when did you actually feel better? Was it when you had picked up the first glass and had a sip? Was it when you got the bottle out of the fridge or gone to the shop? Or was it when you gave into the mind? When you gave into, that's it, I'm going to have a drink. That's it, I'm going to have a drink. You may not be aware of this. I am completely aware of this. There are no mysteries around your drinking. There are no mysteries around changing it. It is not hard. It is not stressful. It is not a struggle. Being in your drinking is hard. Being in your drinking is a struggle. Being in your drinking is a stress. And I want you to listen to this really carefully. You get that sense of relief when you've decided to have that drink. You don't even have to have the drink in the house. You've just decided, I'm going to have it. And from that moment, the mind battle is over and you feel that peace. Do you recognize that? It's so important. It's so important that you start looking at the problem of your drinking, not from the result, which is the drinking, but from the place of the problem, which is the lack of connection with yourself, which is the lack of understanding, which is the belief systems that are in place that take you back time and time again. That's where the problem lies. And those are not hard to resolve. We don't change on what we know. You won't change on what I'm telling you here. You change on the way you feel, and then you act the way you feel, and then you act. So I want you to watch these over and over again. So that's what your wine witch, the devil on your shoulder is. It is the voice of you, your unconscious mind that controls 98% of your behavior, that regulates your breathing and your heart rate, that doesn't know what alcohol is, that has learned to believe it brings you comfort. And in the absence of you being aware of that and knowing how to release it, every day that you wake up making that decision that you're not going to drink to life in a way, in a thought process and tone that beats you down, that evening you are 99% more likely to drink, for your wine witch to arrive. And you think, where did it come from? I didn't want to drink. I didn't want to drink. You brought it in to comfort the beating you've given yourself that day. Does that make sense? I'm just going to check my messages here. I think I actually recorded this one. Please excuse me, I'm having to check on here because I don't know how else to do it. So I've got lots of people saying hi, and thank you for taking the time to commit to helping yourself. So now you know what it is. What are you going to do? So we'll loop back. Your wine witch arrives to comfort you because of the way you are speaking to you, because of the thoughts and the tone that you have about yourself, about your drinking, maybe about other aspects of your life. Those thoughts, that tone makes you feel bad, and your wine witch comes in that cajoling, comforting, kinder, softer voice of, it'll be different this time, just the one, you deserve it. That sort of thing. That sort of thing. And that voice, although it gets louder, it doesn't get unkinder ever. It gets softer, it gets gentle. It might get louder in terms of it's stronger, but and it might feel insidious, but the intention behind it is to take you to what your unconscious mind has learned to represent comfort to you as alcohol. It's easy to end that voice. It's easy. And you don't start with the wine witch being the problem. The wine witch is created by the thoughts and the tone that you have in your own mind about yourself that brings it into play to bring you comfort. I'm looping around and around because it's so important you get this. When you wake up in the morning and you haven't drunk in a way you like, I want you to start to comfort yourself. I'm rubbing my shoulder. I can't say, you're doing your best, my love. You're doing your best. You're okay. I love you. Put your arms around you. Your drinking doesn't make sense. So until you understand the process of change, just go with the not making sense solution, because the not making sense solution makes perfect sense when you're looking at your drinking from the direction you need to look at. Comfort yourself. Don't speak to yourself badly. Check in with yourself. You're okay. I love you. Like a baby, keep yourself safe. Keep yourself safe. If you drink too much and you're like, I am, oh my, rather than what the hell is wrong with you? You're doing your best. I love you. I love you. You're okay. You're okay. Let's get you a nice cup of tea. Let's get you a drink. Talk to yourself the way you would to a precious loved one, maybe a child, maybe a dog if you don't have children, or a very precious loved one that's made a mess up. And you don't want them to feel bad. You want them to feel better about themselves. And it's not to abdicate responsibility for not moving forward, but you won't move forward when you're beating yourself up. You just won't do that. So comfort yourself, speak kindly to yourself, breathe, take long, slow, deep breath, have a flipping cry, check in with yourself when that sort of like starting to beat up and the desire for comfort comes in, and that voice of it'll be different this time. Engage with yourself. Don't fight with yourself. We want communication, conversation, not confrontation. If you don't confront yourself, when you don't beat yourself up, when you talk to yourself, what are you looking for right now for me, darling? When you're going into a situation where you feel a bit anxious or nervous and you think, well, I'll have a drink, it'll make me feel better. Ask yourself, go into the toilet, give your answer up. What do you want from me now, right? What do you want from me right now, love? I need someone to talk to. I need to tell someone how I feel. I'm hungry. I haven't had something to drink. Talk to yourself, communicate with yourself. You are disconnected, and alcohol, like food, like shopping, like spending, is what you do to reconnect yourself. And of course it doesn't. Do you remember yesterday? You must watch yesterday's. We talked about coming apart. You use alcohol, food, shopping, spending to reconnect yourself. That doesn't fill the void. That pulls you further apart going forward. What does? What do you need from me right now, my love? What do you need from me? And you deliver on what you need. Say you're in the office and I need to rest. I need a drink right now. Jesus, I need a drink. What do you need from me right now? I need rest. Now, you can't go and lay down on the office floor, but you can. Okay, I know I need rest. I know I need rest. When I go home, I'm going to have a nice bath. I'm going to watch some Netflix. I'm going to have some me time. Now, you might say to me, well, I've got this to do and that to do and everything. And I understand that, and if you want to make change, you have to make the time. There are certain things in your day that you don't have to do. There are certain things that you do have to do. If there are things in your day that you don't have to do, and you choose to do those instead of delivering on what you need, you will stay trapped in your drinking because you're not offering yourself the comfort you want. Your wine witch, the devil, will ever get stronger and stronger because you're not delivering on it. If it means you don't hoover up, or whatever, or do the ironing, and you actually give yourself the time to breathe, relax, sit, have a cup of tea, and then you don't drink, does the ironing really matter? You can come back to that. Start to ask for help, maybe in the house. Start to stop doing absolutely everything and asking people for a little bit of help, kindly. And if someone gives you the help, this is one of the things I find a lot with clients, well, they did it, but he didn't do it the way I would like it. Thank them and let it go. Only you can change your drinking. Only you. And you only change it by listening to what I'm saying, following the processes I tell you to do, and owning it yourself. By saying, okay, let that go. That's not important. What's important is me. And again, please don't say I don't have time. Please don't say I never put myself first. Start putting yourself first. If you want something different, you have to be different. You have to do different. So your wine witch only comes up in response to the conversations you have where you're beating yourself up. If you weren't beating yourself up, if you weren't trapped in your past or projecting into your future, if you were present and being kind and speaking to yourself in the way you deserve, and making sure that you're nourished, and making sure that you're rested, and making sure that you're connected, your wine witch won't show up because you are already delivering the comfort that you're actually looking for. I hope that makes sense. That's short and sweet. So today's workbook is on playing with the voices in your head. This 5-day experience will be up until Monday, and then it is coming down. And the reason I'm putting it like that is I want you to commit to yourself, because I am giving you huge value and insight, but I can't do it for you. And I want to make sure that you're like, right, I do want to change, and this is what I'm going to do. I do want to change, and this is what I'm going to do. So any questions you've got, put them in the comments. anything that you don't understand, put them in the comments. It's about taking self-responsibility, being aware of where you are now that you don't want to be, listening to me, taking my process. I was a drunk for 28 flipping years, and I can now have a glass of champagne, whatever, as and when, which is not very often, I have to say, but it doesn't have that impact on me. And I'll tell you what actually happened, how I came to be like that. I was on holiday with my brother and my niece. We were out in a restaurant. The owners of the restaurant, I was drinking tonic water, the owners of the restaurant, who are good friends with my brother and my niece, to be kind, gave me a gin and tonic, which I didn't know. It was so flipping strong, and I knocked it back because I was laughing. And I had a couple of seconds, I'm like, oh my God, I'm back on the hamster wheel. I'm back to square one. And I was a little bit frightened, to be honest, because I'm learning all the time too. This is a couple of years ago. And nothing happened. I was like, oh my God. Oh my God. And that's where I took that next quantum leap in my understanding about problem drinking. And I adapted my processes and my thought processes, everything, because you don't have to be a never again drinker. People talk about regaining control of your drinking. That's the same thing as becoming like a simply social drinker. I'm just using different terminology. When you no longer believe alcohol brings you something, you drink differently. When you have the process of letting go of all the elements of that, like your wine witch, you drink differently. It's not hard, it's new. So any messages, any comments, please put them in here. I will have a look. Can't see any. That doesn't mean anything, just means I didn't want to do. And and I don't know how to close this down either. So I will see you tomorrow. And if you have any questions, please let me know. Follow the process. Follow the process. Take care and have a wonderful afternoon. Bye-bye. Oh, and I'm going to be flipping heck. I don't know how to come out of this again. Okay, maybe it's here. Oh, and I'm going to be flipping heck. I don't know how to come out of this again. And I still don't know how to come out of it. I've got flipping heck. I don't know how to come out of this again. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I still don't know how to come out of it. Oh my God. There, finally got it.